So my presentation topic is barriers to standardizing advertising campaigns globally and what is the role of globalization in the promotion. First, we see the introduction why global advertising is higher than it looks because it has the 700 billion plus global ad spend in 2023 and upcoming years and 195 plus countries with different culture and laws and 60% brand report needing a local adaptation. So first we have the global advertising which delivers the same message across multiple countries. Second is the global and cost efficiency, brand consistency and unified positioning worldwide. Third one is the reality. Every market is different because it has culture, language and law, economy and behavior are different in the every country. And last one is a one size fits all approach often fails and local adaptation becomes necessary. Now we see the what is the global advertising standardization, which gives us the one message, one brand, and every market. So its definition is using the same advertising strategy all over the countries, and it has the same message, visuals, tagline, and the brand positioning. Third one is the minimal or no changes between markets, and last one is the focus on cost savings and the global brand consistency, and it has the key advertising advantages lower production and media cost. Second one is consistent and global brand image, and last one is year management across markets. What is the real examples? First one is the Apple company, which has the minimalist ads with wide backgrounds and safe taglines worldwide. It has the think different shot in the on iPhone. Second was the Coca-Cola. It has the open happiness campaign run in 200 plus countries, nearly identical visuals. Last one is the Nike, which has the tagline "Just Do It" slogan used globally with minimal changes across the markets. First one we have the barriers or cultural barriers, which have the different values, beliefs, and tradition vary widely across society. And it has the key points. First one is the different values and social norms across regions. Second is colors, symbols, and gestures hold varied meanings. Third one is the religious beliefs may conflict with ad content. And third one is the risk of using the offense and misunderstanding. And third one is the last one is the a successful ad in one country can fail or backfire elsewhere. Now we have the real example of the McDonald India. In McDonald, remove beef and pork from its Indian menu entirely, as ads features local vegetarian options and celebrate Indian festival like Diwali. And the aloo tikki burger was the created especially for the Indian market to respect Hindu and Muslim beliefs. Without this cultural sensitivity, McDonald's would have failed in India massive market. Now, second, we have the language barriers. Direct translation really captures the original meaning. First, we have the key points. Word lose meaning or take unintended connotations. And second one is slang, idioms, and humor really translate well. And brand names can mean something and offensive in another language. And even professional translation can miss the cultural nuance. And last one is the visuals tied to the language must be remade entirely. Now we have the real world example. Pepsi in China 1980s. Pepsi famous slogan "Come alive with the Pepsi generation" was translated in Chinese at the Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the dead. This created confusion and negative reactions. Similarly, KGF slogan "Finger licking good" was once mistranslated in India or China's as the "Eat your fingers off." Lesson: always use native speakers for advertising translation. Never rely on direct and literal translation. Now we have the legal and regulatory barriers. Advertising laws differ dramatically by country. Key points: content restrictions vary, nudity and political ads, and product claims. Second one is this some products cannot be advertising at all on certain markets. Third one is the comparative advertising is banned in many countries. Second last one is the children advertising has strict rules in EU markets. And last one is the violation can result in heavy fines or the campaign bans. So example is alcohol and tobacco advertising. Alcohol ads are completely banned in the countries like the Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the Kuwait due to the Islamic law. In France, alcohol ads cannot target youth or so people drinking happily. Now, tobacco is advertising is banned in 37 plus countries, including India, UK, and Australia. Global brands must audit legal restrictions and market by market before launching any campaign. Now we have the barrier number five, economic differences. There is an economic difference in income level, purchasing power, and the price sensitivity vary widely. For example, GDP per capita, US has the 80% K thousand versus India has the 2.5K according to 2023. Price sensitivity is much higher in lower income markets. Premium positioning fails where affordability is the priority. Luxury brands cannot use the same approach globally, and value for money messaging resonates more in the emerging economies. Example Unilever. Unilever discovered that the consumer in rural India and Southeast Asia could not afford the standard size shampoo and the soap bottles. They launched the single use sachets at the 1 or 2 rupee with ads focusing on affordable everyday care rather than the premium quality. Now we have the consumer behavior differences. How people buy, decide, and respond to ads differs by culture. Key points is first one is the individualism versus collectivism saves ad messaging. Second one is the family roles in the purchase decisions vary stronger in Asia and Middle East. Third one is the brand loyalty patterns different. High in Japan and low in the price sensitivity markets. And emotional versus rational appeals work differently across culture. Last one is the online versus in-store purchasing habits vary significantly. Example P&G Asia versus USA ad. Protector Procter and the Gamble ran ads for the Pamper diapers. In the USA, ads focused on the mother's individual choice and freedom. In Japan and India, ads shows the extended family approval, grandmothers endorsing the product, and because family consensus plays a central role in the purchasing decisions. Same product, completely different emotion appeal based on the cultural values around family and decision making. Now we have the last barrier, competitive environment. Strong local competitors face the global brands to adapt their positioning. Key points are the local brands have a deep cultural understanding and trust. Second one is the global brands are seen as a foreign, less relatable. And price competition from local alternatives is intense. And fourth one is the local brands dominate through the emotional and cultural connection. And last one is the global brand must go local to stay competitive. Now we have the example of Walmart versus DMart India. When Walmart entered the India, it faced the stiff competition from DMart and Reliance Retail. These local chains understood the Indian shopping habits and bulk buying of for families and price bargaining and local product preferences. Walmart had to adapt its store format and product range and pricing strategy significantly. The culturally relevant and local competitors have the natural advantage that global standardization could not overcome. Now we have the see the glocalization. So what is glocalization? Think global and act local. Globalization meaning is global brand identity plus local cultural adaptation. For example, Coca-Cola using Coca-Cola festival use local festivals and language and celebrities. Now we have the McDonald's, unique menus for each country and cultures. And Zara different collection for each regional season. So what are the key features? Global standards plus local relevance. And the second one is adapted language, visuals, and messaging. Third one is respect local culture, values, and maintains core brand DNA. Now we have see the when globalization is necessary. Situation that demand local adaptation over standardization. First, we have the cultural sensitivity when message could offend or clash with the local values and religions or traditions. Second one is the language dependent messaging when wordplay, humor, or slogans cannot be directly translated. Third one is the legal requirements when global law restricts certain content and product or claims. Now, fourth one is the new market entry when entering market where the brand is unknown and needs to be build local trust. And local competition when local competition are outperforming with the cultural relative campaigns. Last one we have the economic differences when income levels require the price sensitivity messaging or different product formats. Now we have the case studies in the KGF, KPS, KFC in India, mastering globalization. So what is the challenge? KFC original menu have the fried chicken, beef, pork completely conflict with Hindu, Muslim and vegetarian dietary requirements in India. So first, KGF changed their strategy. They have the no beef or no pork, 100% halal chicken only, remove all beef and pork products, and local menu items: veg ginger, paneer burger, masala crunch, tailored or to Indian spices preference, and cultural ads. Ad features Indian families, feature festivals, cricket and stars, and local celebrities. And affordable pricing. Value meals priced to match Indian income levels. Smaller combo option also introduced. So we have so it has the result. KGF grew 850 plus outlets in India by 2023. Its revenues also grew 40% year 40% in 2022 to 2023. Now we have this comparison between the standardization versus globalization. A side by side comparison to understand the strategic difference. So first we have the criteria of message. Standardization same everywhere, globalization adapt to each other. Second one is the cost, which has lower one campaign and higher multiple campaign in globalization. Cultural fit, we have the poor may offend in standardization, and the globalization strong locally relevant. And in brand consistency, standardization is very high and globalization is very moderate. And in market success, standardization works in similar markets and globalization works in diverse markets. Flexibility is very low in standardization and in very high in the globalization. For example, app standardization examples are Apple, early Coca-Cola, and localization examples McDonald's, KFC, and Unilever. Best for West for what is the West for standardization is developed and homogeneous market, and for West for globalization is diverse and emerging markets. Now we have the conclusion. So first we have the standardization is efficient. It saves cost and ensures brand consistency. Idea when markets are similar. And second one is the but barriers are real. Cultural, language, law, economy, and behavior make full standardization difficult. Globalization, and now third one is the globalization is the solution. Adapting globally consistent brand to local market drive resilience and growth. And last one we have the evidence is clear. Brands like KGF, McDonald, and Unilever succeed globally by adapting locally. The most successful brand are those that understand the world is not the one market. So so thank you. That's all.